Hi, girls, and welcome back to another episode of Self Care for Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as Black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. So, welcome back. Today's episode is the first in a mini series that's called Me Time. It's a series about small things that you can incorporate in your daily lives that can change, maybe the way you eat or things that you do to help, better yourselves. Um, in no way am I telling you all to go out and do this, but I am encouraging you to go out and at least try some of the activities from this series because they're either things that I've done or things that I plan on doing in the near future that I truly believe that will help me in the future and help get my mindset right. Just a small disclaimer, I am not a professional at any of this, and these are just some ways that I think can help you to take care of yourselves. Now let's hop into the first of the Me Time series, time management and journaling. So, the first thing I want to talk about today is time management. By definition, time management is the ability to use one's time effectively or productively, especially at work. But it doesn't necessarily have to apply at work. It can be at work, in school, at home, just anywhere that you feel you are losing time and you're not being as productive as you could be. So, with your homework for students and, job work and even just your life, if you have kids, it can be, I don't have kids, but I'm assuming it can be hard to keep up with all the activities that they're in or doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So, having good time management skills is a great way to quickly get your life together. Meaning, like I said, it can help produce some type of balance between, things that you have to get done and leisurely things. It can help make sure that you aren't spending too much time doing one thing and either not enough time or not having any time to do anything else that you had planned for that day. So for me, that would be me spending too much time doing my homework for one English class and then either not having enough time or not getting to do homework in my other English class at all. So, small things like that. It can be really handy, especially if you're a parent or a student, like I said, or even a very busy person. If you're an entrepreneur, it's, you need to be able to balance your business and your personal life. So, the two don't start clashing unless you're like a vlogger and your business, it is your life. So, they kind of have to clash. And it'll also help focus on the goal of your task. So, if your goal is to get 2 of 6 pages done for an essay, for example, then, managing your time would be sitting down for like an hour maybe and getting 2 pages done so you don't have to worry about them anymore, And it won't give you time to procrastinate, especially if you plan to take a certain length of a break between, 2 tasks. So, a couple of ways that you can get started managing your time is actually really easy to get started. All you need is about 30 minutes in the morning to sit down and go through everything that you want to do that day and how much time you need or want to spend doing it. So if you can sit down and, enjoy your morning coffee or listen to the news and go through things that you have to get done that day and what can maybe be put off to tomorrow, or if it doesn't take that long you can knock it out maybe even right after you're finished going through your day to see what you've got to get done. You'll need a good calendar so you can write down and write down the things that you have. Like if you have a meeting tomorrow at 4, you can write down, you'll be able to look at it and see that you have, a meeting tomorrow. So you can plan around the meeting to get, maybe smaller tasks done, or in the morning you can get one big task done, and then after the meeting you can get the smaller things done. um you'll also need a notebook so you can write down the task that you will be able to get done that day and how long they'll take. So say you've got 6 things to get done on the same day as that meeting. Maybe you can get 2 of them done before the meeting and 3 of them done after, or even just writing them down and seeing how long each of them is going to take, adding about 10 minutes, just in case you get sidetracked, because it does happen. Just in case you do get sidetracked, you want to have at least a 10-minute playtime almost, so maybe you just aren't feeling it and you need to recuperate and get yourself together to finish that task. And before sitting down to do all this, just make sure that you have your day written out so you don't accidentally forget anything. So make sure everything that you've got to get done that day, or that you need to at least start that day, is written down so you can see, so you know how to spend your time wisely. Lastly, you just need to sit down and do it. Stop procrastinating, because that's what you're trying to stop doing by doing this. Give you some time, sit down and do this in the morning, and then, I don't know, give yourself an hour and 45 minutes to, fully wake up and become aware, because sometimes, not all people are morning people. So, you need to give yourself some time in the morning, or maybe you are a morning person and you want to get right into it. So right after you finish writing down what you've got to do for the day, you can get started right off the bat on your task, and, give yourself an hour or an hour and 45 minutes at night instead of giving it in the morning. Just do it for it to suit you. And you don't have to make a specific time to do any of this. You can, like I said, you can do it while you're watching the TV, while you're having your morning coffee, or you could be, listening to a podcast. Yeah, so just, kind of make sure that you've got everything laid out for you, so this will be easier, and so it can help you in the future. The next thing that I want to talk about today is journaling. Journaling is a really great and affordable way to express yourself and your feelings, or, just to summarize your day or your week or whatever that you've been going through lately. Maybe you're excited for something, just be you, and nobody's gonna ever read it, so just do you. You can do virtually anything in your journal. Like maybe you can express yourself and the way you're feeling at the time. Like I said, you can write small affirmations or other types of notes to yourself. You can do literally anything in this, It's supposed to be by you, for you. So you don't ever have to worry about anybody ever reading through it, It's also a cheaper alternative to going to a therapist. However, let me say this. If you are suffering from real problems, please seek help. Journaling is not a substitute for seeking professional help. Do not rely on a journal to completely fix your problems. If you're going through something or you feel yourself getting depressed, seek help, because that journaling, yes, it may make you feel better, but it's not. Depression is a serious, it's a serious thing. You need to go seek help so it doesn't progress into something much worse. But if you are just having a rough week, journaling is a great way to express the way you're feeling. Talk with yourself about what made it such a bad week. Or instead of talking about the bad, write down the good things that happened that week. So you can look more positively at what happened during that week. And to get started with journaling, it's not hard actually. The first thing that you'll need to do is purchase a good journal. Um, that will make you want to write in it frequently. I wouldn't suggest spending more than $13 on one unless you plan on keeping it up and you really want to make this your own. Like I said, if you're in just starting out and you want to see this, if this is something that you want to do, buy a cheaper notebook. And if it is something you want to keep up with, finish out that notebook, that journal, and then go buy you, a more, I wouldn't say more expensive one, but a sturdier one. You might want to start out with just one of those notebooks that you take to class. And if you like the journal, then maybe go out and buy a prettier one. The prettier ones are kind of expensive. So, you might not want to start out with one of those, but you may eventually end up with one. Next, you want to buy some colorful pens and markers. Like I said, this journal is going to reflect you, so you want to make it your own. If you've got pretty pens and pretty markers or colored pencils, you're probably going to want to write in it more, especially if on top of the pretty pens and pencils and other writing utensils, you have a pretty notebook or a notebook that makes you want to write in it every day. So, just having those things around you will make you want to write or draw in it very frequently. You can use lots of colors, you can use your favorite colors, or you can just use the more professional neutral colors like black, red, or blue. Just make sure that whatever you're using, it describes you and it puts on paper what you want to express to yourself. Just small things that pop into your head that you want to jot down really quick. And I wouldn't suggest spending too much time journaling. I mean, spend enough time that you get what you need to get off of your chest, but then don't spend time where you're literally just sitting there thinking of things to say, because then you're kind of defeating the purpose of journaling. So don't force yourself to journal. If there's nothing that you want to write about that day, then don't write about it. Don't write anything, because then you're defeating the whole purpose. Some small tips to make these activities productive. Stay consistent. Don't start one day and then stop and never do it again, because if you do that, then that one day that you did it might not have might not have been the day that you needed to start this, and because it wasn't the right day, you think it wasn't productive and you think it was a waste of time. But give it a while, give it like a week or two to see if it's something that you want to do. Because if you don't give the journaling too much thought, at least test out the time management, because the better you manage your time, the better person that you're going to be. You're going to be able to wake up early if you want to. You're going to be able to go to bed when you want to. I would give both of them a try, but stay consistent with whatever you do. And like I said earlier, don't take too much time doing them. If you take too much time to doing them, then you're kind of defeating the purpose. Like with the time management, if you're taking more than 30 minutes, then unless you plan to take more than 30 minutes to do this, you're wasting time, and it's defeating the whole purpose of doing these things, of writing down this stuff, your task, and you're not managing your time well. Unless you plan to take more than 30 minutes, taking more than 30 minutes is not managing your time well. It's not. And with the journaling, don't take, any more than like an hour. And if you're not feeling it that day, then don't write anything, or open your journal and write, I didn't feel like journaling, and then close it and go on about the rest of your evening or your morning, depending on which time you want to write in your journal. Because journaling is about expressing yourself. And if If you want to write about how you don't feel like journaling, then that's fine. But if you don't want to write about it, just open the book and say, I don't feel like writing about it, and going about your day. Because if you don't feel like expressing yourself, then there's no need to write on it. But you still need to at least write that you don't want to write anything, because that way you'll know, oh, well, this day I just wasn't feeling it, you know? But yeah, I feel like this episode went by really quickly. But that's all I have for you today. I will leave the links to where you can purchase some cheaper notebooks for the time management, and a cheaper journal for journaling, just in case you don't really know where to start. And then you can get cheap markers and pens and stuff from like Walmart for $1. So I don't really need to leave a link for that, but I'll leave a link for the notebooks and the journals. But other than that, like I said, that's all for this week. Make sure you head over to the blog for the links so you can get an idea of what I was talking about. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in this week. If you have any questions about today's topics, want to share an inspiring story, or be featured in our monthly Q&As, send them to me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to head over to my blog at selfcareblackgirls.wordpress.com to see extra content, pictures, and links that were mentioned in the show. Spread the word. Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. To help support this podcast, you can send a one-time or monthly donation to patreon.com/selfcareforblackgirls, and you'll receive a special gift. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to stay beautiful.